Hey guys, this is 𝗀𝗏𝗧𝗵 with my 5-minute wealth tip for Money Talk LA. Listen, I get the question all the time, Corey, when is the right time to start converting my money from tax-deferred to tax-free money like a Roth account? Well, let me tell you, it really depends on your time horizon and more importantly, how much income you need when you need it, okay? So here's how I want you to think about the process. There are 3 different buckets that we're going to talk about. The first bucket is called your taxable bucket. This is where those assets are, like your checking, savings account, your mutual funds, your stocks, your bonds, things of that nature. All those assets are sitting in an account that is going to earn some sort of interest in the course of the year. Now, as you earn interest in that account, you're going to have to pay taxes on those capital gains that come from that plan. So each year, you're going to get a nice little love letter from the IRS, and it's called a 1099. That's just telling the IRS that you've earned a certain amount of money in this account, and oh, by the way, we want our piece, right? So that's the taxable bucket. Then there's what's called the tax-deferred bucket. So tax-deferred typically is where the majority of us hold most of our assets. That's your tax-deferred accounts are like your 401k plan, your 403b plan, your 457 plan, right? These are your IRA accounts, things that are going to grow tax-deferred. You put money in there and you allow it to grow over a period of time, and then when you take that money out, you're now paying what's called ordinary income tax on that, right? Because you deferred the taxes, right? But at some point in time, Uncle Sam goes, hello, give me my money, right? Or my percentage, right? Remember, when you're in a tax-deferred bucket, you have a silent partner. That silent partner is the IRS, right? It's the government. They're saying we get a piece of whatever it is that you deferred. We want our part of that process. So remember, tax-deferred account, you're deferring those taxes for time. Now, the last phase or the last bucket is called your tax-free bucket. Now, the tax-free bucket is a little unique because whatever money we build up into this tax-free bucket, we get to allow all the gains and all the growth from that account to grow completely tax-free. This is what we like about it, right? But listen, we can't get everything into that tax-free bucket without doing some sort of conversion, right? We want to take money from the tax-deferred bucket and move it to the tax-free bucket. And when we do that, we have to pay our taxes. Now, I get the question all the time, how much should I be paying when I'm converting? Because that's the most important question. I don't want to pay too much in taxes because if I take that money out today, it's going to add towards my ordinary income tax, right? And this is where the fear comes into play. Well, instead of you trying to figure it out all on your own and figure out how much you should be converting per year, reach out to our office and let us run the analysis for you. What we can figure out is where you're currently at right now and what tax bracket you're at, but more importantly, what is your effective tax rate for state and federal. Once we know that number, then we can look at your current numbers that you want to convert from tax-deferred to tax-free. And in doing so, we can run multiple scenarios and say, hey, if I added an extra $30,000 to my income this year, would that push me to a higher tax bracket? Well, we can run those numbers and see exactly what it would do. And if it doesn't move to a higher tax bracket, where is that break point at where you can add money all the way up to that number without exceeding that number and keep you in that same tax bracket? This is a great way to do what's called tax bracketing. We're going to do that to make sure that you don't exceed the bracket. Or if you decide you want to exceed that bracket, we go up to whatever the bracket that makes the most sense, which you're comfortable with and paying in taxes. Guys, we can do this for you right there in the office. All you have to do is tell us you want to do a tax analysis to choose how much money you should be converting each year. If you haven't already done this, reach out to our office. Let us run our tax conversion and see what makes sense for you when it comes to your tax planning. This is a great way to allow your money to accumulate tax-free. We got a lot of things that are about to happen in the next few years that could drastically affect our taxes. I truly believe that taxes will be going up in the future. You've heard me talk about this over and over, so we need to start planning now. In 2026, taxes are going to revert back to what they could have been back in 2017. We're supposed to be sunsetting back to that time frame, which means we're going to be in a higher tax bracket. So before that happens, let's make some proactive choices and start getting us on the right path. Okay, guys, this is Cory 𝗏𝗏 and my 5-minute wealth tip. Hopefully you got a good amount of insight on that. Feel free to call the office or click the link below and set a calendar appointment. All right, guys, be well and blessed. Talk to you on the other side. Bye-bye.